Hello, welcome. My name is Williams Abule, and this is Thav TV, and you're on to the newspaper review here on Thav TV. This is where we bring you the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. Would you love to participate? That is easy. First, you need to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notification key. That will help you to get notified whenever we come online. All right, and if this is the first time you're seeing the video, well, you may have missed a bit, but you are right on time to always get in touch because we bring the headlines every day here, fresh to you. Well, for today, let's go to taking the headlines. Join me as we do this together. We begin the headlines on Vanguard newspaper, today being the 9th day of March 2022. And on Vanguard here we see the headline says, "Why Court Sacked Umahi, Deputy, 16 Lawmakers." That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. So you need to get details of that story. Don't forget to pick up the Vanguard newspaper. That's where we find the details of that story. We'll move on to other headlines here on the Vanguard newspaper. At the bottom part there, we see APC crisis. Bello may be ratified as acting chairman next week. Bello may be ratified as acting chairman next week. Other stories here on the Vanguard newspaper, we see International Women's Day 2022, reps backpedal to reconsider 3 women bill. And that story is on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then this last one here is at the top part of the Vanguard newspaper. We say Nigeria ranks 30th in global beer market study. That's a very strange one right there. All right, we'll move on to other newspaper. Next is Nigerian News Direct. And on Nigerian News Direct, we see National Convention. APC adopts report on zoning formula as Bello-led committee calls for parties' NEC meeting next week. I remain National Secretary until Buhari says otherwise. Akpanude Odehe speaking there. PDP wants political aspirants from joining ruling party. All of that story is on page 3 of Nigerian News Direct. We'll go to the top part of that same newspaper. We see there, Nigeria, Senegal to sign MOU on local content development. And then lastly, we take this one, FIRS offers concession to taxpayers with outstanding foreign currency tax liabilities. At the very bottom part of the same paper, that is Nigerian News Direct, we see there, court judgment sacking Umahi, orders over defection dead on arrival. APC speaking there. Next, we take on Daily Trust newspaper for today, the 9th day of March 2022. And the big headliner here says, how bandits ambush killed 63 vigilantes in Kebbi. Informants leaked plan to repel bandits attacked. Buhari urges proactive action. Buhari urges proactive actions. Other stories here on Daily Trust newspaper, we see court sack Ebonyi governor kicks as PDP nominates replacements. Airlines groans as aviation fuel exceeds 600 naira per litre. At the bottom part of that paper, we see governor's wives storms National Assembly, protects rejection of pro-women bills. Okay, we move on to the Nigerian Tribune. And on the Nigerian Tribune here, we see PDP moves to take over Ebonyi as court sacks APC's Umahi deputy. Party nominates Igariwe Udogu as replacement for Umahi. Igwe sends names to INEC. 16 APC lawmakers also lose seats over defection. Judge lacks the power to remove me, Umahi. All of that story is on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Still on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, at the top part we see APC convention. Bello fixes National Executive Committee meeting for next week. Reps to reconsider 3 rejected bills. Women governors' wives shut down National Assembly entrance. All right, so do well to pick up a copy of the Nigerian Tribune to get details of these headlines. All right, we'll move on to the Daily Sun newspaper. And on the Daily Sun newspaper, let's start from the top of that paper. It says, second Niger bridge ready next month, federal government. I think that's a very good development there. It says second Niger bridge ready next month, federal government speaking. And then we'll move to the big headline here on the Daily Sun newspaper. It says, Umahi talks tough after governor, I'll take that again. It says, Omahi talks tough after court sack. Omahi talks tough after court sack. Vows not to vacate office, heads to appeal court. Deputy 16 lawmakers also sacked. Protests, jubilation in Abakaliki. If you need to find out why they're jubilating, make sure you pick up the Daily Sun newspaper and run to page 6 of that paper. That's where you find details of that story. And at the bottom part of that same paper, that is the Daily Sun, you see family of murdered BRT passenger picks holes in driver's account, appeals to Buhari, Sanwo-Olu for justice. That's a very sad story, and it came up really strong yesterday on the news, where a young lady was killed in Lagos State. All right, don't forget you can also participate by dropping your comments and your reaction on the comment section. But to do so, you can also follow us on all our social media handles. We are also on Facebook as Thav TV, on Instagram is ThavTV_NG, and on Twitter it's at Thav TV. And here on YouTube too is Thav TV. But first you need to subscribe and click on your notification key to always get notified whenever we come online. Let's continue with the headlines. We'll move on to the Punch newspaper for today, the 9th day of March 2022. And the big headline here on the Punch newspaper says, crude oil price. MAN, that is Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, warns of hyperinflation. Subsidy hits 400 naira. Diesel, 625 naira. Aviation fuel hits 580 naira per liter. Air travelers stranded to pay more. We rely on diesel. Rise in price means higher cost of production. That is Manufacturers Association of Nigeria speaking there. So if you need to get details of that story, run to page 21 of the Punch newspaper. That's where you find that story. All right, we go on to other stories here on the Punch newspaper. On the top part, we see PDP submits Omahi's replacement to INEC. Sacked governor sits tight. All right. And at the bottom part of that paper, we see International Women's Day, that's IWD. Close gender gap between men, women in governance, says minister. And at the very bottom part of the Punch newspaper there, we see Bamise, Sanwo-Olu slams critics. BRT suspends operation. Family demands justice. Okay, at the bottom part there, we also see Tinubu proposes meeting with APC reps, caucus on presidential bid. Okay, lastly, let's go straight to the Leadership newspaper. And on the Leadership newspaper there, we see Senate ignores court rulings, begins amendment of new Electoral Act. Senate ignores court ruling, begins amendment of new Electoral Act. Says judiciary must respect principle of separation of powers, directs INEC to register inmates to vote in 2023. Constitutes Committee on Sexual Harassment Bill. Reps pass 56 constitution amendment bills, but consider rejection gender bills. And all of that story is on page 4 of the Leadership newspaper. And at the top part of that paper, we see terrorist kills cause of vigilantes in Kebbi. PMB applauds contributions of women to national development. And lastly, I'll take this one and say, businesses grown as diesel price hits 650 naira at the depot. All right, that's all we can take on the headlines this morning. And do well to follow us on our social media platforms, as I mentioned. And next on this show is our discussion segment where we get to review the headlines we've read out to you this morning. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's get into the conversation. I have Mr. Victor Silke here, my regular commentator. Thank you very much once more for always making it through to the studio.
Thank you.
All right, let's begin our conversations this morning with from the Punch newspaper. Let's go to the issue of this case of Bamise's death in Lagos State. Well, if you're just hearing that name for the first time, it's the young lady that was killed in a commuter bus, popularly known as BRT, in Lagos State. And that's been a very sad scenario, and it's been a very bad taste in our mouth, and it's been a topic of conversation for a while. So the Lagos State governor has come out to say that, okay, he's slamming critics, and of course, he has suspended the operations of BRT bus in Lagos, which I think is wise. And then, of course, the family is demanding justice. What's your take in all of this?
Okay. As you can see, this is happening in a very special time in the world when women are really agitating for gender equality. And just like we are in the International Women's Month, and it was themed, or it is themed, gender equality for a sustainable environment and sustainable growth in our communities. Now, yes, Governor Sanwo-Olu is really going hot against the critics, that mentioned majorly that the BRT bus is supposed to have CCTV camera.
Yeah.
And it was like, see, if you don't have the full information, please don't spread
false information.
Because Lagos State right now is under fire.
Yeah.
I think that's the right word, because people are angry.
Yeah.
BRT should be a safe way to transit around the city.
Yeah, I agree.
So he now said, okay, this particular vehicle, the particular BRT bus that Bamise entered, it's locally manufactured and it does not have the CCTV facility. Oh, so we ask, is installing CCTV that's difficult for such facility? That's the question there.
Yeah.
And people also are saying, see, let's not sweep this case under the carpet.
Yeah.
We should take action now.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we have other stories that has been swept under the carpet. We do not know what's happening. And we also believe that there could still be some political traits about this news.
This happening, yeah.
Yes, because the election is by the corner, and you know what happens. It's not a new thing that towards the election that the rate of ritual killings goes so high. Although they are blaming it, many persons are blaming it to the Yahoo. Okay, Yahoo is going higher. People are desperate to make money, quick money, not just money. So it's really a really sad thing.
It's a very sad happening, and I feel that yes, just like a lot of people have been calling for a renewed action against this kind of crime. I think the Lagos State government should rise up to the occasion and nip this at the very beginning of it, because I mean, if this is the first time this is happening, my head is telling me that it could happen again, because like you rightly said, BRT was supposed to be a safe zone for commuters. I mean, back then when I was in Lagos, I feel very safe taking BRT rather than following the Danfo buses or any taxis, because in those places, it's a very comfortable, means of transportation. And for this to happen in around 7 p.m., as they say, that's a very, very disturbing thing. And Lagos State government should do everything to earn back the people's trust and say, okay, these buses are still safe to commute in, and all of that.
Yeah, and one more thing, as you just mentioned, trust. The people don't trust the government right now, because this particular driver, there is a video that is spreading the social media sphere that he already has accepted guilt that he committed this crime. Okay, that was released earlier. Before he was captured he was arrested by the police. So in the police custody, this man now changed the whole story. That
he had some people with guns,
stopped them and took the gear, and he ran away. Come on. So they are like, okay, the political implication, or a political hand might be on it, because for the fact that he has changed the whole narration, could it be that there is somebody that wants to cover something up?
Somebody in high authority, because this is a government transportation. So how did we get to the point where they can use that kind of transportation to commit this kind of crime.
Yes.
You know, so yes, I understand where they're coming from. Okay, moving on. Let's go to Ebonyi State. Oh well, it's been a very hot news since yesterday, where the news broke that the governor of Ebonyi State has been sacked by the courts, him and his deputy. And immediately, PDP has also submitted 2 names to replace them. What's your take?
I'm happy about the whole news. Because, this country, Nigeria is a difficult place. Reason, because there will be procedures in doing things, but Nigerians will find a way to go around it, manipulate the procedures. How can you be elected under a party? Mind you, a party should be bigger than a candidate.
Yes, it is. It is.
Just like APC is bigger than Buhari.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not. In other crimes, that is how it is. Now, how will the people elect you under a particular platform and you then cross carpet and you still want to give the glory to the other party? I don't know if you get my point. It's more like transferring mandate, you're transferring mandate, you're transferring power to another party. Come on. Yes, there are some lacunas there with the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution. But we should also be thinking from the point of morality. How can a party fund you? I don't get my point. Fund you, bring all their arsenals, you win an election, then you dump them. And you think they will just be there.
Yes, while you're still occupying that office.
Yes.
It's absurd.
And the Constitution also stated that you can only win an election through a party. You must go through a party. And mind you, also, when you go to the ballot centers or the polling units, who do you vote? Who do you thumbprint on? You thumbprint on names? No, parties. So he should stop crying foul. I just pray that from my own side, I just pray that INEC will receive the true copies of the judgment.
They should honor it.
They should implement it, my brother. Let this thing stop.
They should implement it as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Yes. They shouldn't drag it because
it's a normal thing. Once the election is closed by, people will just be jumping from one party to the other. They should stop that.
Because this will be like a sound warning to people that we're also thinking of doing the same thing.
Yes.
Moving as we drag close to the general elections in 2023.
Exactly.
So, and I think we should have more courts and more judges, doing the right thing as this judge has done, so that it will try to put some sanity in our political arena. Because we know that we're going to see a lot more madness leading on to the elections in 2023. But if we have people that are able to uphold the rule of law, like this judge has done, it will help us to put some sanity in the system. And I'm hoping that, a lot of other judges will learn from this and do the right thing. And then politicians too. It's not just a walk in the park anymore. Let's do what is right. They all know what is right. They like you said, they like to cut corners to get things done. Now, he's crying foul and saying that he's going to challenge the judgment in the appeal court and all of that. What is he hoping to get out of it?
I wonder. And he's like the Justice Eyang, that he's against the state. That he has up to 10.
Oh yeah.
He has up to 10 cases against the state. At the same time, that he is saying that this judgment was bought.
Oh, so is he saying that he has bought some judgments in the past? Because if you can think that yes, his judgment was, but that means at some point you guys have successfully bought some certain judgments. You don't say that about the law. This is what the law does. It upholds the hope of the ordinary man. And for me, the PDP fought a very good battle on this one. Thank God they didn't just look away. And they've come out victorious.
And why I like what is happening is that so that tomorrow, even if the PDP wins the next general election, so that APC on their own will know that no more crossing.
No more crossing.
And we already know in this country, although there is this insinuation that our politicians they can tomorrow be on one party, the other day on another. In fact, they can even cross carpet within a particular, in 4 years, they can do like 3 to 4 cross-carpeting. So it makes no sense that why do we not have parties? We should then do independent, more like
candidates.
independent candidates
so
without
run
parties.
Independently of a party.
Yeah. So I don't see a reason why we should have a party and all this will be happening. It does not make sense.
What do you think of what's happening in Osun State? Let me take one of the headlines I saw on Punch Newspaper. It says, Osun PDP governor primaries produce Adeleke Babayemi as candidates. Oh, so the both factions in Osun State, the PDP factions in Osun State has produced two governorship candidates.
Yes.
Go.
Okay, very interesting headline.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the Ademola Adeleke, the dancing senator, okay, versus his nephew. It started from the nephew. The issue of this faction thing. It first started from the nephew, who happened to be his cousin to Davido, the musical act. They already had a family issue because of that. Davido was like, why would you, Dele, the former banker, why would you be contesting against our uncle? There was a family issue there. Then, boom, there was a faction in Osun State. Then the Dele guy moved to the other faction. Unfortunately for him, okay, yesterday, being Tuesday, there was primary. There was the Osun PDP primaries happened yesterday, and still there in Osogbo, not so far from each other. Was on the left-hand side, you have the Adeleke, the dancing senator.
Yeah.
Okay, you have the Dele on the other end. But I asked, why did we have up to two big Osun PDP lords in both primaries? So the hand of Ademola Adeleke, the dancing senator, we had a sitting senator. We had the deputy governor of Bayelsa State. While for the Dele side, we had Oyinola, former governor of Osun State, who also is a member of Board of Trustees PDP, and another sitting senator. So he asks, why this deep division? This other wing, they are saying that, okay, the delegates, about 1,000, above 1,800 delegates, that they came from the National Secretariat. The other faction saying the same thing, that this their list, over 1,000. So we are talking about almost 4,000 delegates. Different lists. Yesterday, just as usual, when Ademola won his election, he was like, see, no victor, no vanquish. Let us all come together and work as one. The other wing, same thing. The election is just by the corner. If they don't put their house in order, APC from the PDP point of view, from the Osun angle, I think they are united.
They are.
Because they have a sitting governor, has conducted his primary, he won, so he's just looking at these people. If PDP come as a divided house, I'm sure they will not win this race. And it's just close by, July 19th.
Yes. Wow. Interesting analysis there. Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. That's the much we can take today on the Newspaper Review. Don't forget to also participate by dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section, and also follow us on our social media platforms. They're showing on the screen right now. All right, till next time. Thank you, Mr. Victor, very much for always coming through. Till next time we come on your screen again, my name is William Sapule. See you next time.